So we're a team. We are a team. You got to be a team player. Are you part of the team, or are you like Mr. I'm on my own, I'm the man? Because if you're the man on your own, you can't achieve as much as if you're part of a team. Now you become more of yourself, and you become greater and more powerful in yourself, where you say, I'm part of something bigger than me. If you think you're it, you're the spitz, then there's only so far you can go. So we want to be a team player. I've got to believe in the team. Sometimes I'm going to put the team above me. Oh, my favorite story ever. I've forgotten his name. They were training to be astronauts, NASA astronauts. I'll look it up. Anyway, they had to do all this crazy training, hiking in the wilderness and stamina training and teamwork training. And they basically had this big hike, and they came to a place where they got to a waterfall. And they either had to basically climb on each other's shoulders, go over the waterfall, or walk around. So they sat down, there were 9 of them, and they had this big debate. One said, look, if we go in the waterfall, we might save time, but we're going to be wet, and it's hard to walk when you're wet. It's difficult conditions, whatever it is. And the other guy, and he was saying, let's just go around, we'll stay dry, we better take a bit more time, but it's going to be better. And also it takes a lot of effort to climb up the waterfall, and then everyone else pull everyone else up the water, so we're not even saving so much energy. So this one guy, and he was, we've got to go round. 8 other guys said, no, we're hitting the waterfall. So they were sitting there, and obviously democracy. This one guy who was campaigning with everything he had to walk around, not go to the waterfall. And they said, we're all going through the waterfall. He looked at all of them, pushed them aside, and he went in the waterfall first. And he said, get on my shoulders. Said, if that's what we choose, that's what we choose. I'm going to be part of the team, but I'm going to be the man. I'm going to be the man in the team there. I'm not, it's unfair. Why, you're doing it wrong. You're making a mistake. Okay, I'll resentfully come along. He was like, no, if this is the decision of the team, I'm part of the team. I'm going to play in the team. So what we're doing is we're creating a team of like-minded people who are going to live unbelievable lives. However, we're not going to be exclusive. We're going to try and include other people as well. Let's bring them in. We want people here. Although we have to bring in the right people. כל אחד מאיתנו דואג ומצטער תמיד על עצמו, למה סוף כל סוף מה יהיה עמדי? Everyone has a thought to themselves at some point in their life, what's going to be with me? Am I going to live an okay life? You're thinking about yourself the whole time. Am I going to get married? Am I going to have enough money, parnasa? Do people like me? Will I have all the material things I need? Will I be healthy? Will my children be healthy? Will my children stay on the derech? You know, life is full of a lot of challenges. I just want you to understand that. It doesn't go easily. Even if you're the richest person in the world and you've got a nice house and a nice car and a nice job, then your kids, God forbid, may be sick or not doing well in school or getting bullied. There's lots of stuff happening. And then after you do all of that stuff and you've got business issues and all of that, then you get old and then your body starts kind of breaking down. And then you're like, ow, now I'm hurting a bit. So life is challenging. Someone said, I was speaking to a student the other day. I said, how are you doing? He said, this is okay, this is not. He goes, it's not perfect. And I said to him, Baruch Hashem, well done. And he said, what? I said, well done, you've noticed that life's not perfect. Life isn't perfect. You can't have the perfect body, the perfect marriage, the perfect job, you can't have things aren't perfect. You can have a very good marriage and a very good job and really things that you love and enjoy, but you have to understand right now, things that aren't perfect. You're not going to have perfect anything in your life. However, if your attitude to life is, I'm going to appreciate the good things and I'm going to grow from the bad things. I'm going to look at all the good things in my life and say, that's great, I have the good things. And then I've got to look at all the things that aren't perfect in my life. And I'm going to say to myself, okay, so I'm going to build more discipline in this area, more perseverance in this area, more patience in this area, more gratitude for what I have. Then you don't need the world to be perfect. If your attitude is good, you don't need the world to be perfect, which is great. Why? Because the world isn't perfect. So if you need the world to be perfect, you're in big trouble. But he says that everyone Basically, especially, well, I was about to say especially in your teenage years, but it's your whole life. In your teenage years, you're struggling for a sense of self and identity and who am I? Am I cool? And then every year, every time, whenever you get older, you're going to have more and more struggles and challenges. So he says we're all basically in the same boat. We're all in the same boat. And I noticed I lived in India and China and speak to businessmen from Manhattan and I speak to orphans in Sri Lanka. And we're all in the same boat. In fact, not true. The businessmen in Manhattan are much more miserable than the orphans in Sri Lanka. Because they're just content with what they have. They're doing much better, actually. But we've all got our stuff. So let's get together. Yom v'yom anu mishtokek liat karov la'Hashem. Now he says something that is so far from our experience of reality, but he was the Rebbe, the rabbi of the Warsaw Ghetto in the Holocaust. Terrible, terrible, terrible conditions. Death and starvation and concentration camp. So see, he says this line, I wish it was true. He says, we are all yearning to be close to God. We are all yearning to be close to God. Now, who here is actually yearning to be close to God? What does that mean? Just yearning to be close to God. Or what do you think about more? Your team results or being close to God? What do you think about more? Getting married? I want to go to shidduch, or I want to get close to God. You think about your shidduch more than you think about God. I'm sure. What do you think about more? Your Gemara? What's Tosfos saying? Or how do I get close to God? What do you think about more? Your job? Or how am I going to get close to God? Now, all those things are good things. You should think about your shidduch and your Gemara and your job. But not more than you're thinking about yearning to be close to God. And even when people like us hear that phrase, yearning to be close to God, it feels a little bit kind of naive. It's like, isn't it? I'll be religious, but this whole actual relationship with God stuff that's very Christian. Very Christian to be like actually have some real God consciousness. Yes, please.
Isn't all the stuff that you mentioned a way to get closer to
It could be.
Like she got married, like you said, to get
Yes, it should be, but generally isn't. In general, when you're thinking about getting married, it's not because you want to be close to God. It's because you want to be close to her. Anyone. But yes, it's the best way to get close to God. When you're doing a mitzvah, is it because you want to get close to God, or is it because you're a good Jew and you're meant to do mitzvahs and you'll get reward for it and it's nice? Or is it, no, I want to use these tefillin to become close to God, feel God in this room right now? So it's crazy. The only purpose of life is closeness to God. That's the only thing we're really here for. And everything else, job, shidduch, Torah, mitzvahs, which are a really good thing, exercise. You should go exercise. You should travel the world. See the beautiful world. That's okay. I want you to do all those things. But why? Why are we doing all of those things? So we said since the beginning of this that spirituality in God isn't just another kind of thing. It has to be infusing everything we do, say, think, feel. You had a question? I don't know what the question could have been. It's just like, that's what we're doing here. That's what we're doing here. Machshava dibur maaseh. We have to talk about this quickly. We do speak about it in every class. But there are three what our sages call garments of the soul. There's the soul. The soul is pure, godly, connected, joyful, loving, radiant, playful, connected, giving, compassionate. And that's your essence. Then there's the garments of the soul, the clothes of the soul. And those are thought, speech, and action. Thought, speech, and action. That is how you can express yourself in life. In fact, you've never done anything ever that wasn't thought, speech, or action. You either think, speak, or act, or at the same time. And hopefully you think before you speak. Well, actually, it depends. You might be thinking bad things and say bad things. There's also something called feelings, emotions, but you don't do them. You don't do emotions, you feel emotions. And they generally come from your thoughts. So the only things you have in life, you have nothing in life apart from thought, speech, and action. Isn't that cool? So one would imagine that you should start refining and uplifting your thought, speech, and action. What better is there to do? What's more important? Having a good job or having good thinking? That should be very clear. He's got a great job, but he thinks really negatively, he has a bad life. He's got a decent job that pays the bills, but he thinks really well. Even he doesn't have enough money, but he thinks really well, you have a good life. It's all about how you think. Thought, speech, and action. Machshava, dibor, maaseh. Now, what is a garment? What are clothes? Clothes do two opposite things. They cover up and they reveal. Clothes cover up and clothes reveal. They cover your body, but they reveal something about you. I wear a white shirt, so you could say, you might judge me, but just I wear my football shirt, you know what team I support. By the way, I could use my clothes to deceive you. I could dress up like a doctor or a policeman, and then you might think I'm a doctor and policeman. So clothes have this dual purpose, which is opposite, covering up and revealing. So too do your thought, speech, and action either cover up your soul or reveal your soul. If you're roasting people and putting them down, teasing them, then your speech is now covering up your soul. If you're watching stuff that you shouldn't be watching, then your actions are covering up your soul. See? If you're thinking things you shouldn't be thinking, then your thoughts are covering up your soul. If, however, you are speaking words of Torah, if you are speaking words of encouragement to someone who's feeling low, then that's revealing your soul, because that's what your soul wants to express itself. Your soul wants to express love. That's what your soul wants to express. So when your mouth is expressing love, then that's an expression of your soul. So it's revealing your soul. Your thoughts reveal your soul. In fact, and your speech and your action reveal your soul. What's the difference between thought, speech, and action? There are lots of differences, but the main one is thought is internal, action is external. What is speech? Speech is the bridge between internal and external. Speech is I can tell you what I'm thinking. I can tell you how I'm feeling. So that's why we say God spoke the world into being. Did God really speak? Let there be light. What it means is God took his ratzon, his desire to create, and he manifested it into reality. He spoke it. That's manifesting the reality. And how you speak to yourself and speak to other people, that creates your reality as well. You speak to yourself. Speaking to yourself is called thought, by the way. Negatively and critically and judgmentally, that will create your sense of self. You speak to other people negatively, critically, that will create your relationship. Are you the person people know is going to just be negative and complaining? Now, obviously, in yeshiva, they're not going to say that about you because they don't speak Lashon Hara, but they'll be thinking about, oh, there's that guy. He's the complainer, or he's the roaster. There he comes. He's going to put someone else down. You don't want to be that guy. You want to be the guy, oh, he's just walked in the room. He's going to say something nice and uplifting. Shalom. How are you? Are you the sort of person who walks into the room and everyone feels good and calm? It's just like, oh, thank God. Thank God Rav Chaim Eid just walked into the room. A shining face. He's probably going to say something sweet and kind to me. Or share a beautiful Torah idea. We know that. That's what Moshe Chaim Eid was in the room. That's what's going to happen. You know that. And it feels good. And his light enters the room. And when he's around and he enters the room, you don't want to then say bad things because it uplifts you. But then there's that other guy. He steps in the room. And you know he's going to say something about your mama. And you're like, oh no, I got to defend myself now. I have to put a defense. I defend myself. He's going to be negative and angry, defending myself. So that's covering up his soul. Rav Moshe Chaim Eid is just walking around expressing his soul. Just like soul. All the time. So that's what we want to do. So with all of our thoughts, speech, and action, at least we shouldn't be distancing ourselves from Hashem. There's one thing which is yearning to be close to Hashem and expressing that through our thought, speech, and action. That would be a very high level. But at least we shouldn't be doing things that are taking us away from Hashem. That would be ridiculous. Sur mira ve'aseh tov. Shalom aleichem.
This is a foundation, so.
This is. We're building our foundations. So David HaMelech, King David said there are really two steps to our growth. Sur mira, get away from evil, va'aseh tov, and do good. Get away from evil and do good. So this is very good for Baal Tshuva. At least stop the things that you were doing which were damaging your consciousness. That, you might not be davening mincha yet, but at least stop going to that club. Come on, that's not where you need to be right now. Sur mira is like the first step. So he's saying that it's one thing to be yearning for God consciousness, and it's a high level, but at least don't mess yourself up. Stop doing stupid things. I want to be more healthy. So in order to be more healthy, I want to go to the gym, and I want to swim in the sea, and I want to eat well. So that would be an idealistic, nice thing. But at least I've got to stop smoking weed and eating pizza. At least let's get the baseline going here. At least I've got to not look at my phone after 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. At least. Imagine sitting in bed before you go to sleep looking at your phone. Psychotic. Why would you do that? It's not helping you sleep, not helping you be happy. At least don't look at your phone for 45 minutes in the morning until you've stretched, exercised, meditated, prayed, done some physical and spiritual awakening stuff. Then look at your phone and get sucked into that world. But I wouldn't do that either if I were you. So your first step is just cut out the bad stuff. At least. Just cut it out. Now, why is that so hard? Why is that so hard? Because it feels good. Weed and pizza feels good in the moment. Doesn't feel good afterwards. Feels like you get a bit depressed, actually. You're not the most motivated person on the face of the planet. So it feels good. So you're selling out on greatness for temporary superficial pleasure. Just saying, don't do that. Come on. Go up here a little bit. You want to be even slightly spiritually connected? At least don't do the bad thing. You want to have who's here is going to get married? You going to get married? So there's 5 things well, there are many, but let's say there are 5 things. Your wife says to you, look, I don't like it when you raise your voice to me. And I don't like it when you leave your socks lying around. And I don't like it when you compliment other women. And she said, look, there are these 5 things I really don't like. Now there are 5 things I really like. I love foot massages. I love walking in the park. I love swimming in the sea. Whatever it is. So she says, here are things I really don't appreciate. And here are things I really like. At least don't do the bad ones. Otherwise there's no relationship in the first place. In fact, if you are complimenting other women and shouting at her, she actually doesn't want the foot massage anymore. She just doesn't want it. She likes them, but not from you, because you're a pig. She doesn't want a pig to massage her feet. She wants a man. So the very basic bottom line is don't do these things. If you want to, that gets you in the relationship. There's no relationship if you keep doing things that are damaging the relationship. But once you're in the relationship, then they're investing, make it better. This is what Shabbat is. Shamo v'zacho. On Shabbat, there's Shamo v'zacho. Shamo means guard Shabbos, which means don't break it. Don't mess it up. Guard it. Don't use your phone. And we say Shabbat is like the yichud room. Do you know what the yichud room is? When you get married, you're going to marry a woman you will never have touched her before. You know how holy that is? You're going to be standing under the chuppah with a woman that is so holy that I can't even imagine. Well, I can. I did it. And then you're going to go into the yichud room, the isolation, the alone room. And you're going to be alone together for the first time. Now, you would have been alone kind of in the park, in public, but this is going to be the first time you're going to be alone with this woman. And then she looks at you in the eyes and you say, 1 second, I just got to check the scores. England playing Switzerland. on Shabbos, but I can break Shabbos for this because England replaced Switzerland, man. We got to win. We got to win that. And she says, he said, sorry. I checked the score, and you're about to give her a hug, and they're like, ding ding. Oh, hold on 1 second. My friend just said there's a WhatsApp. So you reading the newspaper and watching TV on Shabbat is basically doing that to Hashem, because Hashem says, let's have some yichud, let's have some personal, intimate time together. So you can't be on your phone. It just doesn't work. So that's called shamon. Get away from damage. Don't damage. At least don't damage it. You've got a beautiful Ming vase. Beautiful. At least don't smash it. Now, once you're not smashing it, then you can polish it. Then you can paint it. You can do nice things to it. So we have these 2 steps. Somi ra, get away from the evil. Va'aseh tov. So what we should be really yearning for in life in general is yearning for greatness. Now, this goes in every area of our life. In general, people are motivated by one of 2 things: escaping pain or experiencing greatness. Why are you working so hard for your exam? Because I'm afraid of failing. Or why are you working so hard for your exam? Because I'm so excited about passing and all the opportunities it's going to open up for me. Now, both those people are working hard for their exams, but one of them is just not a healthy person. The person who's working to avoid pain, that's not healthy. It's better than nothing. At least you're going to pass your exam. You're going to avoid the pain. It's not healthy. The person who's working to experience greatness, that's great. But at least do the work out of fear rather than love. But we want everything we do, we want to be done out of love. Love and joy. Love and joy. Love and joy. All the time. Love and joy. That's it. Got to be doing it through love and joy. And then we just get, what sort of world are you living in? I remember the world where I was growing up in. It was gossip and drugs, and it was like a pit. And it was a very enjoyable one. It was a very enjoyable pit, but it was a pit to think that this pure neshama that's what I'm talking about. There's words coming out of my mouth. It's like, how can you say those words? How can you speak about people like that? Disgusting. So you're just so far away. And I'm even breaking my desire. Ratson, we spoke about this a few days ago. Ratson means your desire. Ratson comes from the word rats, which means to run. What are you running towards? What are you excited about? I'm running. Just in case anyone is watching the football, England are playing Switzerland. It's on Shabbos. So we're not watching it. To be honest, I don't care. But if you are looking at your watch for the end of Shabbos, to be like, okay, Shabbos is out, check the scores. It means you weren't into it. That's sad. Is it called breaking Shabbos? It's actually not called breaking Shabbos, but it is. Because you were like, I want to get Shabbos out the way. Shabbos is, or this is why smoking, apart from all the other reasons smoking is bad, but Shabbos then becomes hard for you. You like can't wait for Shabbos to finish so you can have a cigarette. That's so sad. It's worth giving up smoking just for Shabbos. And every time you don't smoke during the week, you should say the Kavod Shabbos for the honor of Shabbos. I'm not smoking now for the honor of Shabbos, so that I don't need to smoke. And then you just be a happier person. So we've even broken our ratson. We don't desire it enough. We want the wrong things. We want the wrong things. And we love the wrong things. We have a strong power of love. We should love ourselves. And we should love other people. And we should love Hashem. But we don't. We love football players and food. And video games. That's what we love. I love it. I just love this game. I just love bungee jumping. I do actually love bungee jumping. It's okay. I'm not saying you can't bungee jump. You can bungee jump. Go, and you can watch the football, not on Shabbos. Love. What are you using your power of love for? We're loving the wrong things and we're wanting the wrong things. Right? Hi. Come. It's Nana's chair. You got to learn too. It's for everyone. So basically, what I'm doing is, rather than yearning and running towards God consciousness, I'm literally throwing myself into like dirty places. I'm just hitting Ben Yehuda Street Thursday night. But Rabbi, there's some girls. I know, they shouldn't be there either. And you're putting yourselves in these places that you shouldn't be there. It's not the right environment, not atmosphere. I'm being fanatic and extreme, by the way. So you can go, but I'm giving you an idea. Getting you an idea. If you want to become great, you have to do great things. If you want to become great, you have to surround yourself with great people. If you want to become good, you've got to do good things. It's very clear. You have to be in the places and do the things you need to do in order to be the person you want to be, in order to live the life you want to live. Very simple. So that's what he's saying. We've got to get together for this. So it's very hard, because if you want to be good and pure, and all your friends are like, nah, come on, you're so frum, come on, let's just go and have some fun, then it's very hard. But if everyone else is sitting around also listening to me rant at them, and hopefully taking a little bit of what I'm saying seriously, and you're like, you know what, I don't want to say bad things, you'd feel stupid. Imagine you lived in a very, very health conscious village, no one smoked, you'd actually feel stupid smoking. If you're with your university friends, you feel cool smoking, so you smoke. So you've got to put yourself in an environment where it's not cool to do bad things. Actually, you just feel a bit not cool doing bad things. That's very healthy. And with other people who are also supporting each other and uplifting, positive peer pressure, that's what we want around here. Positive peer pressure. But at the very least, don't put each other down. But you should be doing the opposite. You should be encouraging each other, uplifting each other, saying, I see how much you grow. Oh, do you need help with your bags? How can I help you? That would be the best, but at least that would be not nice to each other. And then together we're going to create great, unbelievable lives. And then once we've got this inner circle of vibrantly conscious people, then that then spreads to everyone else. And then we just spread that, and everyone wants it eventually, and that's how we change the world. That's what we have to do. Everyone says, oh, well, when Mashiach comes, I'm like, no, it's up to you. Everything's from Hashem. No, it's up to you. Hashem says it's up to you. I'll help you when you get your act together, but at the moment, you've got to sort yourself out. And then I'll step in and I'll do the rest. Hashem. At Shabbos.